welcome back to the Toffee Blues, your source for all things Everton. I am Connor Williams, and we've got quite a bumper 24/7 news report video for you today. There's plenty to get into. Plenty broke in the last hour of recording this, so about 9 o'clock today. Sorry, 7 o'clock today. My phone's 24-hour and I clearly can't read it. Yeah, so we start with our headline news, and our headline news started from John Percy of The Telegraph. He said, Everton and Aston Villa remain in talks with tonight over a deal for Digne. A deal is getting closer. Everton are trying to sign Aston Villa winger Anwar Ghazi. Villa value Ghazi at £15 million. Paul Joyce then added that Everton are interested in a 5-month loan deal for Aston Villa Anwar Ghazi. And then sort of to just give it that final nail on the head, David Ornstein and The Athletic have also said that Everton have approached for Ghazi. But EFC no valuation and talks continue over a permanent/loan deal, not linked to Villa's pursuit of Digne, but it looks like we are going to really go for Ghazi here, Anwar Ghazi. I'm struggling to understand this. I think it's very typical Everton that 2 days ago I was reporting that, the reports were saying we were going for Kulusevski from Juventus. Then it was David Neres, who I'll get into a little bit later, and now it's Anwar Ghazi. I also think it's a shame, and someone put it on Twitter before, that Anthony Gordon's having his breakout season and will probably likely be replaced by Anwar Ghazi. That's another really sad one. I just think it's a bit poor. Apparently Kia Chujarbian is involved again. Same guy who apparently was involved in the Iwobi deal. He's not your friend. He's only in it for himself. Majiri, please understand that. But this a lot of people are saying is a Benitez signing. I can't help but agree. It does have that waff of Benitez about it. I just don't think he's needed. And he's such a drop-off. I think I'm more disappointed because he's a drop-off from Kulusevski and Neres. It's a really sad state of affairs that at one point in an era with Moyes, we were going for United, players that United didn't want, and that was fine. We got some really good deals. Louis Saha, Tim Howard. We've got really, really good deals from that type of sort of thing. And now we're signing Aston Villa, players that Aston Villa don't want, who are meant to be direct rivals now as well. Since Majiri's come over, Aston Villa, who've been down, come back up again, and now direct rivals with us for that best of the rest mid-table. And now we're buying the rubbish they don't want. 500 million invested in the squad. Farhad Majiri's meant to be this millionaire with billionaire backing of his mates. And this is where we're at. It just blows my mind. It really does. We also have the news Lazio's interested in Allen. The midfielder has been made available for loan this month. This has come from Il Mazzegro from Italy. Take this with a pinch of salt because the Italian press can get a lot of stuff wrong, and sometimes sometimes they're not always the most accurate. Like I said, I read the sources out. All we do is gather and then tell you in one video all the Everton information. This is never us claiming it. It's just paper talk, so take everything with a pinch of salt. I'd be sad to see Allen go. He's a very good player. He's one that supposedly is upset with Benitez, which is a dangerous narrative to have as well, which I'll get onto. But I actually just really like him. I think he's a bit of a pit bull. He has looked a bit knackered this season, but I think he's been run ragged. Yeah, and the bigger worry is if we get rid of him, we've got nobody who fills that role. You're looking at like Tom Davis then, who I don't think fills that role. And again, I have more info on Tom Davis later on. Fabian Delph, very hit and miss. And Shabamin, who I'm going to say is fragile, in the politest way. He's very fragile. Also, there's the narrative that if the rumours are true, that he's upset Benitez, then that would be Danny Donaki, Dean, Allen, and Marcel Brands, although I think Marcel Brands was just because of his altercation with the fan. But that would be 5 people seen out the door because of a manager. And it sort of lays the thing, you might be thinking, yeah, well, I'm not fussed about any of them, but what happens if it's Richarlison next week? Decore came out today and said that he doesn't understand why we're not playing in a free in midfield. What happens if next week I'm reporting that we're trying to offer Decore to everyone, Dominic Calvert-Lewin? It's the dangerous narrative that the players clearly, looks from the outside in, aren't happy, and it's sort of well, if you're not happy, off you go. And like, you could sit there and you're not that fussed about Alan or Dean or anyone else, but there is always that chance it could be one of your favourite players or one of our most important players that are next. Next, we have the news that League Unside Monaco and Nice were interested in signing Mason Holgate on loan, as well as an unnamed Premier League club. That comes from Peter O'Rourke, who is a freelance sports journalist. Then Sky Sports said Everton intend on keeping Holgate despite interest from Newcastle, Nice and Monaco for a loan. Trabzonspor had a loan bid rejected earlier this month. So obviously Sky have now named the Premier League club, and it's Newcastle. And I think they were linked with him earlier on in a couple of months ago. It's mad that we're supposedly looking for bids for Mina, and Mason Holgate is apparently too good to let go, though. I would let Mason Holgate go. I think out of the four centre-backs, himself, Mina, Keane and Godfrey, he is the weakest, in my personal opinion. Branthwaite, I think, has the potential to be better than him. Problem is with Holgate is I just don't think he's developed enough yet. He's still making the same silly mistakes and rash challenges. There were rumours he was shouting at the Gladys Street the other week, which isn't good either. I just think his time at Everton has been and gone. It's a shame it didn't work out. I hope him all the best. I think he could go to certain clubs and be an alright player. When Brighton were linked with him, I think he'd be an alright player there. We did run a poll on the Toffee Blues Twitter, which you can follow. Link is in the description down below. It's, would you loan out Mason Holgate? 70% of you said yes, 30% said no. 2,049 of you voted. I actually voted for no, just because I think we should be looking to sell him. If the loan had an option to buy, I would have gone yeah, but I mean, we should be looking to sell him, not loan him out. We could do with getting people off the books a little bit more and selling him. It is worth pointing out as well in the El Ghazi one, because we love a poll, we did one about El Ghazi. Would you take him at Everton? 1,435 of you have voted. That's open for another 22 hours, so get your voices heard. 88% nope. 12% yes. I voted no on this one. I just don't think he's good enough. I don't think he's going to be good enough for us. And I think we could really do with avoiding that type of a transfer. But yeah, we also have the news that David Neres is expected to leave Ajax in January. Unfortunately, it's not to come to Everton. UOL Deportes in Brazil, relayed by Sport Witness, say Shakhtar had made a 12.5 million bid for him and it was turned down. Ajax is seeking 16.7, which isn't a lot of money really for a young lad that's meant to be a really good player and could be a potential, elite player as he matures. Fabrizio Romano basically has also said that Shakhtar look dead on favourites to get him. Bit gutted we've missed out on that. If we start paying 50 million for El Ghazi when we could have had David Neres for 1.7 million more, that's where my head's at a bit with the club at the minute. Everton are expected to make an improved offer for Sean Longstaff as well, according to reports. The Daily Express, as relayed by Goodison News, claimed Benitez is eager to sign the player and Everton have already had an offer turned down. Longstaff's future at St James's Park is uncertain as his contract is set to expire at the end of this season. Now you might be thinking, well, why are we making bids if his contract expires? Don't. It blows my mind. Maybe it's because he wants him in now. But just wait till the end of the season. I don't know why. Not that I want Longstaff anyway, but he's not a player I'd be bidding money for when you could just get him on a Bosman. But yeah, Longstaff, I think he is. The reason I don't want him, in case anyone's wondering or thinking, I quite rate him, I don't think he's anywhere near as good as Decore or Allen. I'd say he's on par with in ability as the likes of Tom Davis, who we have at the club already. And maybe a Shabamin, but if he's fit and he actually plays, maybe. But he's not better than any of the secondary players we've got. Say now, this is the level for me that Allen and Decore are at. This is the level Longstaff's at, and Tom Davis and that. We need someone a bit closer here, not more here, in my personal opinion. Which is why I'm so against it. But we'll have to wait and see on that one. Harry Tira has signed a new contract at the club. It keeps him there for 3.5 years, so that keeps him until 2025. Fantastic to see. Obviously, Jal Virginia went out on loan. Our two goalkeepers that make sparring appearances on our bench are Begovic and Lonergan, both very old now. I'd hope that in the next couple of years he gets promoted to the first team and is a backup in the first team. I'd like to see that anyway. I don't want to see him loaned out. I'd like to see some more youngsters progress. Obviously, that Chelsea game was a real eye-opener that the kids are all right, so start giving them a little bit more of a chance, especially in our current situation. It's very much similar shades to Chelsea when they had the transfer embargo, and they relied on their kids and they did all right off it. Everton have shown interest in Alexander Golovin, the Monaco midfielder. Apparently, according to Championat, it claims both Everton and West Ham are among Premier League clubs interested in a 25-year-old. The article goes on to say the Russian international would be interested in going to Goodison Park as he really likes Rafa Benitez. Monaco are reportedly looking to recoup 40 to 50 million euros if they were to sell him because they believe he's a key player. Yeah, I didn't understand why Monaco would be looking to get rid of him, and it looks like they're not really unless the offer's really good. He is a good midfielder. He can play centre mid as an 8, or he could play as a 10. Obviously, I think Benitez realises we need a 10. He's tried Gray there, he's tried Townsend there, he's tried Iwobi there. I know it didn't work. He tried Richarlison there, but Richarlison was more of a second striker. That worked a little bit, but I think he needs a playmaker, or wants a playmaker. We did have one at the club, but they didn't get on, so we might be paying. I don't think we've got the money, though, to be spending on Golovin, in all honesty. So we'll have to wait and see on that one, but I really don't think we've got the money for that. We also have the news that Aston Villa have beat Everton to defensive target. Aston Villa have made their third signing in the January window, according to reports in Scotland. Rafa Benitez has signed Vitaly Mikalenko and Nathan Patterson, but he wanted another defender, a centre-back. And according to Daily Record, the reports are that Everton are set to miss out on Dundee United centre-back Keir Smith. Villa have apparently signed him for £2 million. This one's a bit of a here or there. I guess we will judge this in 10 years or 6, 7, 8 years. You know, he could go on to be the Scottish Maldini, and we could be going 2 million and we could have had him for silly. Or he could end up, not progressing very well, and we could go, oh, we really, glad we didn't touch him. It's one of those with players at that age, it's hindsight 2020. Fast forward to 10 years in the future and tell me if he's good type thing. So I can't really say I'm devastated that we didn't get him because I don't know how he's going to progress. We also have the news Tom Davies underwent successful surgery on his injured hamstring. The 23-year-old who was nearing a return for the knee issues that sidelined him in Everton's draw against Tottenham in November, sustained a hamstring problem at the end of December. Investigations revealed a high-grade tendon injury that required surgical intervention. This was carried out in London on Tuesday. Davis, obviously we wish him all the best, speedy recovery. I'm sure he'll be back sooner rather than later. But yeah, that means maybe that's why Benitez wants Longstaff now, because he realises that we've got Shabamin or Fabian Delph or Andre. I mean, no, we've still got a lot of centre mids. I think we need to get rid of a few before we go buying any more. Obviously, Shabamin has apparently been offered out on loan, but then we've also heard that he might not be. It's all very here or there. We also end on the news that Everton have pledged their support for the Hillsborough Law Now campaign to call for an important change to the legal system. The movement was set up by the Hillsborough families and survivors of the tragedy. It's supported by both Steve Rotherham and Andy Burnham, and proposes to prevent anyone facing the same fate of fighting for justice as the ones close to the 97 had experienced. This comes after the TV series as well, depicting Anne Williams, that was aired over ITV. I haven't watched it, but my dad's watched it and said it was incredible, so powerful, really well done by ITV and by Maxine Peake. Fantastic show, really, really good. But yeah, the proposals were launched at an event hosted by both the Liverpool City Region Mayor and the Greater Manchester Mayor last Friday. Everton have now pledged their support to the families and survivors. Liverpool Football Club and everyone in the city is backing the calls for the change. I'm glad this has happened. I think it was sort of expected. Everton have always aligned themselves with Liverpool in the fight for justice for the 97, and will naturally align themselves for the fight for the changes in the legal system. which I think is so important. If you know, the Hillsborough disaster is a well-known disaster in football. The families have been fighting for years and years and years, and they've still not got the justice they deserve. And now they're trying to make sure that this never happens to anybody else. I think I hope I and myself and everyone at Toffee Blues hopes and gives our wishes and hopes that the laws change. And yeah, and we obviously give our condolences as well for the families and the tough fight that they've had to go through and still continue to fight on. But that is everything I've got time for today. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and comment down below on anything I've discussed in this video. It's been a bit of a packed one. Ghazi, yes or no? Alan, loan him out, yes or no? Mason Holgate, yes or no? Get rid, yes or no? There's plenty for you to. David Neres, you gutted about that. Kurt, you gutted about that. There's plenty for you to get into. Don't forget to let me know in the comments. I love reading them. I do read them a lot, and it's nice to get your perspective as viewers of the channel. And most importantly, guys, stay safe, and I will see you very, very soon.